Howdy folks, Sapper here, aka Sean, and yeah, I'm bringing you some Duel of Ages. We're going to start up the Event Horizon bracket again. It's been, I think, 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years since the last time I played this, and I just decided, I've always kind of been a fan of Duel of Ages, and I know it's not a lot of people's thing, but whatever, right? Like, there's plenty of other channels to watch out there if Duel of Ages is not your thing. But if Duel of Ages is your thing, and there's probably 2 people out there, then this is the right place. So I'm going to do a little bit of soloing of Duel of Ages, and it's the Event Horizon. And the playlist that this video is in has all the other games I've played at this that have led up to this point. So I would kind of show you the bracket, but it's a little bit, let me show you. So anyway, here's the bracket. You can see all my mess over here. So pardon the pirate ship. But so we have the Nebula division, we have the Pulsar division, we have the Galaxy division, and we have the White Dwarf division. So I finished at least the, what are these? 2, 4, 6, 8. They're not the quarterfinals. So whatever comes before the quarterfinals anyway. So we finished all this up, and we've got the quarterfinals here for the Nebula division, or is this the quarterfinals? I don't know. I'm not big into sports, but anyway, so eventually we'll end up getting to the final match, right, where we have the final 4. So anyway, I'm getting ready to start the White Dwarf division. We have the Regulators and the Goon Beancounters. And the Regulators, it was pretty easy to come up with their name, but the Goon Beancounters, I just found I had a random team name generator, and that's what I did. Oh, look at my little doggy came in here to visit. This is Clover. Sometimes she comes up and visits. Most of the time she's hanging out downstairs in the chair that I normally sit in. So anyway, so we have the Regulators over here, and then we have the Goon Beancounters. And again, I just used a random team name generator until I found something that I really liked. So let me see here. So the Regulators, and the reason they're the Regulators is you'll kind of see that here in a second, but we have Kelbell. She chose Pat Garrett the Lawman, who's from the Colonial Age. We have Scoots, who chose Tex the Range Rider, who's from the Colonial Age. We have Nineball, who chose Kit Carson the Scout from the Colonial Age. And then we have Timmy, who chose Davy Crockett, the Backwoodsman, from the Colonial Age. So that's kind of where I got the Regulators from, right? Pat Garrett, the Range Rider, that thing. And then we also have Broccoli, who chose Ivy Mane, the Wood Fae from the Colonial Age. And then Peanut chose Daylight and Dusk, the Lovers. So and again, it was kind of random, right? Very heavy in the Colonial Age here. So basically what I did is each team, I gave them 3 heroes, and then we had a pool of another, I think, 8, which we took turns choosing from. So there was 2 leftovers. They got shuffled back in the deck. So this is why we have the Regulators, because they're all Colonial, and we have the Lawman and the Range Rider and the Scout and the Backwoodsman, and this is a fictional character, but whatever. So here we have the Beancounters. We have Dickie with Ulshasha the Fire Dweller, Boa with Sienia, the Queen's Daughter, Tigger with Boris Andronov, the Mercenary, Carrot with Brad the Slacker, Pumpkin Eater with Ophelia of Omri, the Idealist, and Kiki with Enrak the Fury, the Berserker. So we have a little bit more diversity on this side. We have 3 ancient, a future, and 2 modern. So no colonials on this side. I think all the colonials went over there. And then we kind of have the breakdown of the map. I believe that the Regulators chose the Yazoo because I think Ivy Mane can move through Wood Swamp very easily. Kit Carson can move through wood, swamp, and water, and rough very easily, and Davy Crockett can move through woods and swamp. So swamp, water, so that's kind of why they chose, and it's a colonial platter as well. So the Regulators chose this, and then the Beancounters, I believe, chose the forge because of the fire. Old Shasha, the fire dweller, can utilize the fire. The Colossus platter and the Rift platter were randomly chosen. This one just happens to have a lot of fire on it as well. So Old Shasha, the fire dweller, will be able to take advantage of that. But so this is kind of, we've got the white base over here, which is hard to get to, which is kind of the, you know, sometimes you want to make your base hard to get to. Black base is right here. So there you go. There is the basic map setup. Let's see here. Pat Garrett started with a Model 816, which he can use it pretty well, but it's not one of his favored style weapons. But if he can get that to Davy Crockett can, I think, use it a little bit better than Pat Garrett. But Pat Garrett can still use it because he definitely, I believe that is target. What is that? That is your aim stat. So his aim stat's pretty high. So he's got the Model 816. Scoots started with a combat knife, or Scoots' text started with a combat knife and some armor. So the armor will come in handy. I don't think anybody, nobody can really utilize I don't remember what that symbol is, but I think it's like a melee weapon or whatever. But nobody can really put that to the best use, but you can still use it. Nobody else started with any cards. White base has a Sting Whip, which I've seen that card before. That card seems to pop up quite often, and there's a chopper in there. So I don't think anybody can actually use that chopper because nobody has a strength of 7. Let's look. Pat Garrett's pretty strong. I think he's the strongest. Davy Crockett has a 6. Yeah, nobody can use the chopper, so the only thing that'll be good for will be taking the lifts layer and getting some victory points. And then over here, old Shasha starts with an Alpha Pulse pistol, which he cannot use because he is not smart enough. So might be able to trade that for something. And then Ophelia of Omri has a henchman, Johnny Silver, which, too bad Johnny Silver didn't end up on the Regulators team. That would have been awesome. And then she also got a neutron pulse rifle, which she cannot use because she's neither strong enough or smart enough to use it. But can anybody on this team use it? It looks like Boris can use it. Boris can use this. So if Ophelia can get to Boris, then we might be able to trade that away or give that to them. And then in the black base, so the Beancounters are Team Black. So it looks like we have a Spencer carbine. And then another future weapon, it looks like a flamer. So that's what we have in the black base. So there you have it. There is the initial setup for, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be the 5th round, but it is actually the first round in the White Dwarf division. So if you can go back over to here, so round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. This will be round 5, but in the White Dwarf division. So it looks like everything is set up, and I'll be back with you guys in a little while to kind of see, it's going to take a while to dismiss everybody and get everybody on the board. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, so I'm tracking turns with these little blue beads here. So 5 turns have gone by. Obviously, it takes a little time to get everybody dismissed on the board or reinforced. The bean counters still have 1, 2, 3. They still have 3 guys they have to dismiss on the board. The regulators have everybody dismissed because, you know, the honor makes a difference, right? So they've got more people on the board. So they've gotten a couple key players in place. Dusk and Daylight, they are, so let me show you these guys. So this is a pair. So it's actually, they're the lovers. They are 2 separate characters. So this is Daylight's stats right here, and that is Dusk's stats. And there's 2 separate tokens for them. So it's basically like two characters on, you get 2 playing pieces, right? 2 characters. So Daylight starts in prison. So she's here. Dusk is going to rescue her. So that's kind of what he's done. He did fail his attempt at trying to get into the main gate, so he'll probably go to the high gate instead because his honor is higher. So the challenge for the main gate is stealth, and his stealth is 6, so he's worse by 1. But is it respect or honor? His respect. His respect is 8, so he's better by 1. So his chances of getting in the high gate are actually better. So he tried that one, failed, so now on his next turn he'll move over here and try there. Pat Garrett, Kit Carson. Is that Kit Carson? Yes, that's Kit Carson. I have a lot of these tokens for the Team White look very similar. So both of them are going to try to advance tokens in the labyrinth. Texas, I think he's going to end up moving over here. Davy Crockett is probably going to end up going to that labyrinth. He was hoping to get to Siena, but couldn't quite make it. Ivy Main is going to get probably the chopper and then take it to Lith because nobody is strong enough to use the chopper. She might actually get the Sting Whip too. Actually, because of the symbol, she'll probably end up taking both of those cards out of the vault. But that'll be next turn. Let's see here. We have Ophelia is heading over to the Future Labyrinth. Who else do we have? We have Enrak, the Berserker. Actually, I don't remember if I moved him or not. Actually, it's not Team Black's turn yet. So Ophelia is heading to the Future Labyrinth. I think Enrak is going to end up going to the Ancient Labyrinth. And Siena was going to go into the base. Or at least try to destroy. Because I think you do get victory points for destroying pieces in the base. Let's look. I've got these cards to kind of help you. Base achievement. Yeah, so there is an achievement for destroying the opponent's base. That's what she's going to do. She was kind of, I think in the beginning, she was hoping that she would be able to get into the base and steal the cards. But it's looking like, I mean, she doesn't really know what Ivy Main's going to do. But, you know, you can assume that if a regulator token is in the regulator base, they're going to get the stuff that's in there, right? So, but anyway, that's what Siena is going to try to do, is start destroying the base. But what I wanted to do was do these challenges here. So we're going to start with Pat Garrett first. So this is the Guardian of the Labyrinth. It looks like it's a strength test. So here we go. We've got Pat Garrett. So we're going to use strength. None of these symbols match up, so there's no bonus for that. But I do believe because he is colonial and the labyrinth is colonial, he does get a +1. So his strength goes from a 6 to a 7. So he is even. And the attacker is better by 0, so that is a pass. So let's see what you get for pass. You get a card. He's holding. So Queensberry rules against Eric McCracken. No scratching, biting, or kicking. Just fists to the face. So he's holding a bloody nose. You suffered much worse. So Pat Garrett looks like he got much worse than a bloody nose. But he does get a card. So he can either take a common or a secret card. And I think we'll take the common card. So it looks like Pat Garrett walked away with a katana. Can he use it? Oh, he can easily use it. So Pat Garrett gets the katana. And then he gets dismissed. So it looks like Pat Garrett goes to green. And then what do we see here? So we've got green here. We've got green way over there. I think Pat Garrett will probably take this one as it's the closest to the Colonial. So because that Guardian is still there, it looks like Kit Carson will also face the Guardian, that same Guardian, because as long as the Guardian's not defeated, it stays. So it looks like he has a strength of 5 plus 1 for being Colonial, so that's a 6. None of the other symbols match up, so he is worse by 1. So the Defender is better by 1. So that is a... actually, the gray was a squeak, so he got a pass, and then that's an amaze. Yeah, so Kit Carson got a pass. So we do, let me get, so now the Guardian goes to there. We advance the Guardian 1 place. So we go there. He gets 2 cards, and he gets dismissed. So, ooh, big men fall hard. So Kit Carson can take 2 cards, so that can be 2 commons or 2 secrets or 1 of each, or you can take 1 elite card. I think Kit Carson will take the elite card. Let's see what we get. He got this spear, which he cannot use because he is definitely not strong enough, so it was worth a shot. I don't think anybody on my team can use that, so that will be fodder for Lith's lair, I think. So let's go ahead and dismiss Kit Carson. So he goes to gray. I think we'll just go right to here. And then that Guardian got banished. And that is it. Team Black is next. There's nobody to reinforce on Team White, so Team Black is next. All right, 5 turns. I think I don't know if I'm doing the reinforce phase right, but so all of Team White's or the Regulators, all of their pieces are on the board. So everybody that was left on Team Black, I just reinforced them rather than, I don't know if that's right or not. I didn't really feel like sifting through the rules, but so everybody's on the board now. So we've finished turn 5 with the black reinforcement phase, or the Beancounters, or the Goon Beancounters. So let's see here. Sienna, she managed to get into the main gate. She passed the stealth test, and she stopped right there. She still had 2 movement points left, but what I'm going to do is try to destroy that main gate next turn. So that way, we can just move freely through the gate. Well, we, as in the Goon Beancounters, can continue to get into the base. Let me see. Boris Andronov, the mercenary, is there. We've got Enrak, the berserker. He's getting ready to go into the ancient labyrinth. We have Ophelia with her henchman. Here, she's getting ready to go to the future labyrinth. Let's see here. Who are we missing? Oh, Ulshasha, the fire dweller. He got red, or he dismissed to a red. That was his only choice. Sometimes that's what happens with reinforcement, right? If you get a specific color and it's the only place on the board, you're kind of, that's one of the beauties of the game, right? Sometimes you just gotta play it the way you're dealt, right? Let me see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brad. So Brad went there. Brad's interesting. So this will be the first time I've ever played with him. So on all challenges, ignore rating and simply check luck. So if you're doing a hit or damage check, then looks like it's 50-50 fop or squeak, right? And so an adventure, fop, squeak. So it's not like he's never going to amaze anything, but on adventuring, he's probably the best at. He'll always get the squeak. which is the gray result. So, and he can move really fast if he's within 5 of somebody. So, I do have the codex. So I did buy the codex years ago. So I got that, and it does have tips and everything for every single character in the game. I might have to read up on Brad and see what he's best at. I mean, if he's only going to get, the best he's going to get is a squeak result on an adventure. I don't know if adventuring is going to be the best thing for him. Maybe, I mean, he's got a 50-50, I think. I don't even think a squeak will destroy. I don't think I can do anything with him as far as destroying the base either, because I don't think a squeak is good enough to destroy. I think you need to get a pass. Let's look. Let's look. We'll look real quick, because I've been looking at that. Oh no, so a squeak will destroy a site. So I could probably use him to mess up the Regulators base. I think that might be a good use for him, because a squeak on an adventure is not. Squeaks very rarely do anything on an adventure. You usually need to at least get a pass to do anything legit. Now, if you have a known guardian, like there's a troublesome guardian in a maze, maybe a pass. Let's look for example. So this is the one that we just did. So a pass here, or if we're 50-50 shot to get a squeak, we could at least get a card out of it. So if the guardian is known, right? Because if the guardian is undefeated, then it stays face up in the labyrinth, so you know that that's coming. So he could be utilized in that way. But I think I will look at the codex for Brad and see what things he's actually good at. But that is the end of turn 5, and we'll get ready to do turn 6. I think I have 16 turns. So I have, if you look over here, these are the ones that are not yet used, right? So once I get done with these, once all those are exhausted, that's only 12, I believe. So that was what, 5, 8, 10, 12, 15. They're in the bag. And then I have these in the bag. So when I draw the red one, so this way I have a variable ending, right? So when I draw the red one, that means it's over with. So that way I can't really game it. So variable ending. So I think that's it for now. I might do a couple more turns and then load this up. So we'll catch you later. All right, everybody. Let me see if I can remember what happened. So I kind of quit playing yesterday, and today's a new day. I think I'm getting ready to start. Well, I'm getting ready to start turn 7, but I might be a little foggy on exactly what happened at the end of yesterday. So to the best of my recollection, let's see if I can. Let's see what I can do here. So dusk is about ready to rescue daylight. Brad's slowly moving towards the future labyrinth. Ophelia was dismissed. I think she successfully. I want to say she was successful adventuring in the future, and I believe she got this revolver. Let's see. Enrak is still slowly advancing on the ancient labyrinth. Ulshasha, where's Ulshasha going? He's an ancient, so he's probably going here. And then we have Sienia. She got dismissed. I don't remember exactly. Oh, she destroyed the main gate to the white base. And then we have Boris, who is heading probably to the modern labyrinth, which is way over here. He doesn't have any guns. Guns are kind of where he's good at, or what he's good with. So he's probably going to go over to the modern and try to get a gun. Let's see here. So, as of the end of turn 6, Team Black or the Goon Beancounters have the Ancient Labyrinth achievement at the moment. Of course, that can always change. They have the Future Labyrinth achievement, and they have the Base achievement. So they have 3 achievements. Team White or the Regulators, let's see what they have going on. Well, I already covered Daylight and Dusk. I guess I should have started with one team and then finished the other team. So that, I believe, is Tex. Moving back to the Colonial, Kit Carson was dismissed. Let's see, did Kit Carson has an elite card, so maybe he was successful. Oh, he's got this spear that I don't think anybody on the Regulators can use that because nobody's strong enough. So Kit Carson's probably going to head back to the Colonial. The Regulators are heavy Colonial, all right? 5 out of their 6 characters are Colonial, so we'll see if that ends up being beneficial to them or not. Ivy Main grabbed the Sting Whip, and she's probably going to put it right there in the base. That'll just deter further Beancounters aggression at the white base. And then we have Davy Crockett and Pat Garrett. I think they're going to do a weapon swap. So Pat Garrett has a katana. Let me put that down. He has a katana, which he did get from, I think, Adventuring. And then he's got this model 1816, which I don't think he can use because he's not smart enough. So you need a 5 intellect, and Pat Garrett only has a 4. But Davy Crockett can use it. And let's see. So Davy Crockett, if you look here, Davy Crockett has a 6 strength, 5 intellect. So you need a 5. But if the symbols match, so that symbol matches that symbol, then he can use it regardless of strength and intellect requirements. So we're going to get this model 1816 to Davy Crockett. So that's why these two are in the same space. So that'll wrap up the end of turn 6, and then we'll go ahead and start turn 7, and I'll be back in a bit. All right, turn number 7. I pulled out some markers to help me kind of remember what people do. So white or the Regulators have just finished up their movements. So let's go over here. Ivy Main left the base. She set up the Sting Whip. She used her free action because she has the beast. I think it's the beast symbol. It's the pet symbol. So she has the pet symbol, so she can set up the Sting Whip in her free action. She did so in the base. That'll hopefully deter any of the Goon Beancounters from entering the base and destroying more of our precious property. So that's why she put the Sting Whip in there. And then she moved to the alternate Colonial Labyrinth. So hopefully what the plan here is to get some of our stats boosted by advancing the Guardian to the endpoints. So that's the plan there. And of course Ivy Main is a Colonial character, so she should, in theory, have a better chance of defeating the Colonial Guardians. Davy Crockett and Pat Garrett did a little swappage of weapons. So Pat Garrett had this musket, and now Davy Crockett has it. And in the hands of Davy Crockett, it'll be much better because he does have the, what is that? He has the powder rifle symbol. So even though he's not smart enough to use this gun, because he has that symbol, he can still use it. So Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, hopefully he's going to be able to use this to good effect. So he's heading towards the Alt Labyrinth as well, but he kind of got hung up. Well, he didn't get hung up in the swamp. The water's what slowed him down. Davy Crockett can actually move really well through woods and swamp, but he still had to cross some of that water, so he stopped here in the swamp. Let's see here. Pat Garrett, he's moving this way. I think he might. We'll kind of see how it pans out, but he's probably going to head to the Ancient Labyrinth, maybe. I don't know. He does have a katana that nobody knows about. We'll see what Olsashi decides to do. But that's what Pat Garrett did. Kit Carson's heading towards Lith's lair because Kit Carson has this. Chiron's Ashen Spear. Nobody on the Renegades can use this, so he's just going to feed it to Lith and get some favor. So there's Kit Carson right there. Then we have Tex, the Range Rider, who Scoots is controlling, so he's going to head to the Colonial Labyrinth. And then, over here, we've got Dusk, who has gone to Daylight's rescue, hopefully. So we'll see if Dusk can break Daylight out of prison. So I don't think, what is Alsasha has? Yeah, Alsasha can't do any op fire. So over here, so Alsasha can't do any op fire because he's got a weapon that he can't use. He doesn't meet the requirements for it. Enrak can't do anything. Sienna can't do anything. When you're in a dome, you can't do anything, so she can't op fire. Boris is way over here. He is unable to do anything. Yeah, so no, there's going to be no op fire. There is going to be no melee, so now we can do the adventuring. So we will go ahead and we'll do Daylight and Dusk. So to break somebody out of prison, I think it is a strength challenge. Yes, it's a 5 strength challenge, and Dusk has a 6th strength. A 6 strength, so he is better by 1. So attacker better by 1, that is a pass. So we have successfully broken Daylight out of prison, and I believe free 2 prisoner, nope, free 1 prisoner, both are dismissed. So we will go ahead and dismiss. We'll go ahead and do Dusk first. So Dusk goes to red, and then Daylight will go to gray. All right, so let's see. Dusk goes to red. Looks like there's only 1 red dome that is open. And that is way over here. And then Daylight goes to gray. So we've got these here, and we've got these here. She is ancient. I think we'll put her here. All right, so we are successful with that. We'll go ahead and put their card back. And we will go over here to Ivy Mane. And Ivy Mane is going to challenge the Discipline. So there's Ivy Mane. That is the Alt Labyrinth, Alt Colonial. So let's see what we have. Ooh, that's a strength or a melee challenge, and she is not good at melee. So it looks like we're going to challenge some Wild Cossacks, the Scream of Horses, the Clash of Sabers. So that's an 8 melee. She only has a 2 melee. Shares the same age, so that gives her a 3. She is worse by 5. So the Defender is better by 5. Defender better by 5. That is a fail. So what happens on a fail? Looks like she just gets dismissed. So she needs to brush up on her sword play. So she goes to red. I don't think there's any red left. So Ivy Mane can go wherever she wants. Let's go. We'll go here. So there's no reinforcing to be done. This Guardian will stay in the alternate Colonial Labyrinth for the next challenger. So those Cossacks are going to be tough. So it looks like my best melee character is probably, it's either going to be Dusk or Davy Crockett. Those are the best options for challenging that Guardian. That's a tough Guardian. So that is it for the Renegades. I'll be back in a little bit when I have moved all of the Goon bean counters, and if there's any challenges or anything like that, we'll put it on. We'll immortalize it in film. All right, the bean counters have just finished moving, so we'll kind of go ahead and recap that real quick, and then we have some adventuring to do. Let's see here. So Sienna, she moved out of the dome over to here. She knows that sting whip is over there in the white base and decided, nah, I don't want to mess with that sting whip. Let's see. So there's Sienna. Osashi moved into the Ancient Labyrinth. He's going to challenge the Glory Guardian, hopefully to move the adventure piece down. Enrak moved in here to challenge the, what is that? That's the Prestige. So that gives you more movement. Movement's always good to have. Oh, let's see. Who else? We've got Boris way up here. He's kind of heading towards the Modern. Let's see who else. And then we've got Brad and Ophelia. Brad's super duper slow unless he's around enemies, so he's kind of waiting to see what Guardian pops up here to see if it's worth challenging. He's very terrible at adventuring unless the squeak line gives you some kind of benefit. So let's take, for example, so squeaks aren't usually that good. He's got a 50-50 chance. Actually, so here, let's look at Brad. So on adventuring, we check the luck instead of the normal challenge. So on a 3 to 9, he squeaks. So here he would at least get a card. So he's good at any kind of adventure that will give you a favorable squeak result. So that's really the only reason that you would want him to adventure. So I'm kind of waiting to see what Ophelia turns up here. If it's one of those Guardians that's real tough, for example, like the Cossacks, right? That's a big melee challenge. And the Renegades, they uncovered this, and they don't have anybody that's even close to an 8 melee, so they're hurting, right? But Brad could forego the melee and just use his luck to try to beat that challenge, and he could possibly get a card out of it, right? We're not going to advance the Guardian, but at least you can get a card. Cards are always good. So I think that that recaps everybody. So we have, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like we have 2 adventures to do. So we've got, all right, can you see that? Yep, you can barely see that. So we've got Enrak, and then we've got Osashi. So we'll do Enrak first. Let's overturn the Guardian and see what we get. So that is a Wits. A passel of sprites worse than a gaggle of spoiled children. Try to keep your cool. All right, so we've got a 4 Wits challenge. And then Enrak, oh, he's not a barbarian, he's a berserker. So it looks like, so he has a 7 Wits, and then he matches that symbol, and he's ancient. So he has a 9 Wits to a 4 Wits. So he should be pretty successful at doing this. So he is better by 5. And that is an amaze result, which is great. All right, what do we get? So we advance the Guardian. So now all ancient bean counters get +1 movement, which is, it looks like 3 of them. So it's Sienna, Osashi, and Enrak. We get a card, so we will take a common card. Let's see what he gets. He gets a Breachback Horn, which is a melee weapon, so that's definitely good for him. And his special will allow him to attack twice in melee using the same weapon, so that's good. What else does he have? Oh, he's got this, so we need to get to the lift layer at some point, maybe to use that. But he could get the Breachback Horn, which is a melee weapon, which is something that he can use. What else do we get? We get Dismissed, so we go to blue. All right, blue. Where is blue? We've got blue. I think we've got blue here, 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 and here. We've got a lot of blue on the board. we'll go over here. So that way we can possibly do the lift challenge. And then we've got, I think that's honor. Those are honor bonuses. What's his honor? Oh, so if his honor was a 5, then he would get the honor bonus. He does not get the honor bonus. So unfortunately, the Berserker doesn't have enough honor. So there's that. So we can go ahead and move these off the board. And then we can do Ulsashi. So Ulsashi will draw a second Ancient Guardian. If that Guardian had not been defeated, then we would have challenged the same Guardian with Ulsashi. So there we go. So what do we have? It looks like a strength challenge. Ooh, Ulsashi is luckily strong. Angry Minotaur. He would like to leave his labyrinth now. Oh, all right. So we are better by 1 because we are ancient. So Ulsashi is better by 1. We'll go ahead and draw. Attacker better by 1. That is a fail. What's a fail get us? You get trampled, literally. So it looks like the Fire Dweller got trampled by the Minotaur. So we'll go ahead and dismiss. And we go to gold. So Ulsashi goes to gold. You know what? I think I'm just going to go right back to here. Or do I want... let's go to Lith. We'll go to Lith over here too, because he's got a card that he cannot use. He's got this pistol that he cannot use. Does anybody... Well, I've got a couple that could... I've got a couple characters that could use it, but he's really not in a position at the moment. Wait a minute. Boris could use the pistol. He doesn't get any bonuses, but let's do that. So what did we get? We got gold, so Ulsashi will go here, and he can move through these fire spaces. Normally fire is... impassable terrain, but Ulsashi can actually move through it. So I think we can meet Boris somewhere over here and trade off that pistol that he's got. So the Angry Minotaur will go back to the labyrinth. So we know that the Minotaur is there. And that's it. That will wrap up turn number 7. I'll go ahead and consolidate all these and get this video sent up for your viewing displeasure or pleasure, whichever, you know. So have a good day, and then I'll be back with the rest of the... I'll have more gameplay, but got to get this video loaded up.